was like that the world probably would be end by 2012 from a movie that was not right. So nobody really thought about the 2020. But why focus on the job hunting? Because with this situation, I've got so many friends that come to me telling me about they lost their jobs, or they are being on hold. So I think it is a good time to discuss about this, because you're not alone. If anyone in this sessions experience losing job or being on hold, you're not alone. Okay. So, welcome to the new normal. This is how we call it, new normal. Wearing masks, socially distancing ourselves, from the crowd. And before we start, I'd like to ask you guys to head to menti.com. So it's just menti.com, and let me know if you already on Menti. Okay, and then if you're on Menti, can you type 496879, and then you can share about your current situation, whether are you fresh graduate and looking for a job, or are you a non-fresh graduate but looking for a job, or you just neither fresh graduate or non-fresh graduate but you want to change the job, and if you are losing your job or being on hold due to COVID-19. You can start from now. We'll wait for another 1 minute. Okay. All right, this is interesting to see that so many of you wanting to change the job, and it's so glad to see none of you experienced on hold, being on hold or losing the job. So we can continue. I live next to the mosque, so bear with the azan. I think it's good to see that there are also a lot of fresh graduate here looking for a job. Now let's move on to the next. Okay. All right. I'll reshare screen. Sorry. Okay. Can you now vote for the next questions? It's more like what do you think about the current situation? You can say it's stressful, or you can say it's tiring. Does it work? Do you guys see the question?
We do see a question, but we cannot find the answer box.
Really, that's interesting. Let's see. That's all right. Then I'll just focusing on this. So yeah, it is interesting to see that so many of you actually wanted to change the job. So we can actually discuss that on the later discussions. So let me just start on introducing a little bit about me. So my name is Anita. Currently, I'm working for Mintel. So Mintel is the world's leading market intelligence company based in London. But I work representing Mintel office in Indonesia as the account manager. I'm also director of communications for the Australia Indonesia Youth Association, or AYA. And I graduated from the University of York in the UK, majoring in international relations. And before that, I was working for Bukalapak as brand account manager before I moved to England. And then prior to Bukalapak, I used to work for a Fortune Indonesia. Now it's called the Fortuna. I used to do a lot of part-time when I was at university in my undergrad as English and Bahasa Indonesia tutor for expatriates. I also was the junior marketing communication officer for the university, and I used to be a research assistant for Paramadina Public Policy Institute. Let's just skip the mentee. It's taking so much time. So COVID-19, what does it mean for job seekers? Basically, I think it's good to see how is the situation, the current and before the situation before COVID-19, and then we can also look at the challenge and opportunity. For fresh graduate and look for and for those who look for a job, if you which some of you are, and also for they are also non-fresh graduate but look for a job or to change the current job, and also some people feel like they are on hold, experience that they are losing the job and also on hold due to COVID-19. So this is the current, the pre and also current situation, because all this situation happened before COVID. Also the challenge with COVID, now with COVID, the challenge is like we have large scale social distancing policy, or the so-called PSBB. And also some areas or in other countries, they have lockdown, and also business closure, including schools and universities. And not least mental and physical well-being issues. But other than the challenge, we also look at the opportunities. There are obviously remote work, flexibility, which it's not easy, or like it's not familiar, it's not normal before COVID. And you can also get like join a lot of free webinar and workshop and course online from good universities like even Harvard, Oxford. They all held online free webinar, workshop, and course. And it is also a good opportunity for you guys to update and upgrade your portfolio or resume and to get your dream job. And if you want to look at the great stories on the right side, if you know, like Jeff Bezos, so he's one of, I believe he's the richest man in the world now. And with this current situation where so many people depressed, so many people experiencing job loss or like basically jobless, Jeff Bezos actually, he with Amazon, his company actually grows fortune by over 24 billion by now. This is a couple months ago, amid the coronavirus pandemic. So the gist of these slides is basically to look at the meaning of COVID, which you can see whether it depends on how you see it, whether you see it as a challenge, as an opportunity. And then, what is it? Go back. All right. So sorry with the confusion. So this is just a bit of my favorite quotes. Always aim for the moon. If you miss, you land among the stars. On the right side is just a photo of me in the UK. So with that in mind, that you can see COVID as as a challenge, but you can also see COVID as an opportunity to upgrade yourself to get the job. And the mindset that we set is that I always put in my mind is always to aim the moon, because if you fall, you land among the stars. And we also it is also good to look at this really good quotes by former President Theodore Roosevelt, the old Teddy. They say to keep your eyes on the stars, but also keep your feet on the ground. It's just basically looking at the opportunities out there, but also learn from your experience. And let's get on with the opportunities that I was mentioning about. There are a lot of opportunities for you to explore, to expand, to get a good job. We're talking about the background, your education background, skills, whether it's soft skills, hard skills, or interpersonal skills, and also experience. So soft skill is more like your competence. It's like emotional intelligence is in the personal skill. Soft skills is more like what's it called, like out of the hard skills, like your computer, that's called in hard skills, like design, something like that. Or for experience, it's more like your previous experience on that on the job. And for job applications are about resume or about cover letter. And for personal branding, we have offline and online. So offline, it's when it comes to like interview, how you dress and how you speak, that really is important. And for online, social media accounts or your portfolio, online portfolio, your website, your blog, or your vlog. Mostly for this personal branding, I'll say our link is LinkedIn, because obviously LinkedIn is a specific platform for people, for the recruiters to look at your profile. So if you don't have LinkedIn, do make one, because let recruiter come to you, not just you looking for the job. And then for networks and link, some of you know that in Indonesia, you can use link or network from friends or family and partners. But believe me, you should not rely on this. Like, network is good, but you have to work on yourself, as in look out for the opportunities and get the opportunities. Interview, talking about confidence and strength as the eligibility. So the resume or like your cover letter will definitely very important to bring you to the interview. But after all of the previous opportunities from your background, your education, skills, experience, or like your resume or your cover letter, or whatever your branding is, your interview would be the key, like the main key of like a job search, job applications, the interview. And also follow up email or contacts. Does it necessary? It depends. For example, if the by the end of the interview, they will ask you, do you have any questions? And you can ask several questions, including at the end of the interview, you can say, what's the next step? If he says, okay, we'll get back to you by next week, and then by next week they haven't reached out to you, then you can follow up again. Sending them email is better. Don't try to contact them right away. And there are channels to keep up, to get the job. On the left side, you'll see like there are lots of sites for you to get the opportunities, from LinkedIn, Indeed, to like organization newsletter, to social media, websites, and also newspaper. My favorite so far now is LinkedIn, and also organization newsletter from IGO, international organizations or non-government organizations, because that's very specific. So I love to subscribe for specific organizations that I'm into. And on the right side, you'll see channels like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, Canva, Kick Resume, Visual CV, Duolingo, WordPress, Wix, etc. You can look out for any like online channels that you get, that they provide free channels that you can maximize to learn, to develop your skill, to upgrade your skills. And yeah, I guess that's it. I think that's a lot to explore. I think it's good for us to just discuss about the brainstorm about these topics, the 5 topics that we will cover. What the first is about, what can you offer as a fresh graduate to get hired, how and why education background is important to get hired, how to best address experience related questions during interview, how important is personal branding and why, and also how to land our dream job in the midst of pandemic. I'll touch a little bit about what can you offer as a fresh graduate to get hired. It's for the first point, it is not about that you offer them, oh, I can do this, I can do that, and then if they ask you, oh, would you be able to work under pressure? What would you guys say? Would you guys say, oh yes, like saying yes on everything? That is not the correct way. You always have to make sure what, like the most detailed thing about the questions. For example, under pressure of what? Is it like working until midnight? Is it like working, like traveling a lot? Is it like overwork, unpaid overwork, or like is it like working in different department at once? So that is those kind of questions you have to ask, and then you can answer that, because you cannot promise what you can do. And then after that, offer as fresh graduate is obviously if you don't have experience, as in like where because you haven't graduate or just graduate, then make sure that you have volunteering experience or organizational experience. That can be a really good points for you to get a good job. And what can you expect as fresh graduate? To be honest, it's not like, oh, you want to be a like you want to be a manager right away. It's not easy like that. There, you always have to take the stairs if you want to be if you want to go up there. So that's that. For let's discuss on what can you offer as a fresh graduate to get hired later, and then how and why education background is important. It is to be honest, it is very interesting. It looks simple, but it's actually interesting to explore, because obviously you don't know what you'll end up with, and you can set target, but at the end of the day, like you just follow the river. So this is very interesting to talk about how and why that education background is very important to get hired. And then how to best address experience related questions, like what if the interviewer asks you like, have you meet with have you joined any organizations, and then what did you do, yeah, and so on and so forth. And then how important is personal branding and why? It is more about online and offline branding. Do you think that your social media really affect your job applications? Do you think that your appearance, whether your makeup or your dress, actually matters with getting a good job? And the last questions, which is our main topic, is how do you think it is best approach to land our dream job in the midst of pandemic? So I think we can start put by
Okay.
dividing the between different groups, so then we can discuss.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kanita, for your explanation. Well, we're going to divide you into several groups. Okay, the first.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. We will divide you to 5 group.
How many
For
minutes then?
15. right?
15 minutes. 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Sorry.
Okay, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And okay, for room one, facilitators is Kak Damieta. Hi, Kak Damieta. And then for room two, facilitator is Widuri, Kak Widuri. And then room three, facilitator is Santo. And then group four is Raki. And then group five, Dick Narendra. Okay, we will reading room now. Okay.
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 Yeah.
Okay, Kak Anita and me and Prah will stay in the main room.
Okay.
Masih ada belum sih? Gimana?
And what are we gonna do?
Okay. Yes. First of all, I would like to say thank you, Kak Anita, for explaining us about how to get hired. I'm a fresh graduate here, so your class is an eye-opening for me to get hired, of course. And maybe we're going to answer some questions from our subscribers on YouTube. But while waiting for that questions, maybe I want to ask you some questions.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So maybe I will refer to the FGD questions. Am I allowed to do that?
Sure, sure.
Okay. According to your opinion, so why education background is important to get hired? As we know that you have completed your master degree in York University, and we just want to know why is it important?
Well, for the focus group discussion, that should be like a pro and cons, right? As in, like, some people can agree whether education background is important, and some people can also have different opinion whether no, it's not always important. But what it means, I believe that education background is important, but doesn't necessarily have to be the same. For example, you want to be, if you want to work for a market research, for example, you don't have to study communications, because the most important thing, other than your education, that is actually like more important than your education background on this case, is the major of what you're studying, is actually most important thing is your passion, like because with passion you will be more than willing to work on that. So first is passion, and then other than that is also your experience, as in like your organization experience to prove that passion. And then also other than that, you can also show about your like relevant to the job. Obviously, if you want to be a doctor, you cannot study, you have to study doctor, you cannot study like other major. But if you study it like communications, you don't have to be a journalist. You can work for the embassies, you can work for organization like international organizations or multinational organizations. So that is how we see the relevance of education background in search of job. So yeah, it's not a matter of yes or no that it is important or not. Obviously it is important for you to get your degree. But also you don't have to get a PhD, for example, to be a manager, or you don't have to even graduate from university to be a manager. If you're really good at it, if you're very good at your job, then you can do that. So education background matters, but not the most important thing in search of work. So if you feel like you want to be you don't well you want to be a manager for an advertising company or like for an FMCG company, but your background was sastra Inggris, like English. That nothing impossible if you're passionate about it, if you're showing experience as in like your involvement in organizations or your like your involvement in internship. That really good, that is better than just your background education. Does that
Okay.
answer the
Wow.
question?
Yes, it's so clear. Thank you, Kanita.
Like,
Well,
Okay, we
Anita, I
have a
have.
question.
Okay.
Okay, Tra, you can go.
Is it okay if I ask
Huh?
first?
Sure.
sure, go ahead.
So, honestly, I am one of the victim. I may say like that, since my contract was terminated by the previous company that I worked in, especially on May. I have to stop my work, my career in that company. So can you please give us what is that? Yeah, maybe I would like to convey that this class is really inspiring for me. It's really important for me as well, as one of the a person that is impacted by the pandemic itself. So, do you have any uh, tips or tricks for me especially? Because during this time
Yeah.
I still focus on my other business, and also I still focus on uh, developing my skills whatsoever. So do you have any kind of tricks and tips?
Sure. Well, thank you, Tran. I'm sorry for that. You're
Sorry.
not alone, as I mentioned. You're not alone because I have friends who experience that as well. Even without COVID, some people just get redundant or just lose the job with so many other reasons. So, losing something doesn't mean that your life ends, and that is actually a good start to go beyond your comfort zone. So it is just a matter of what to do next. So that's a good question on like what's the trick and tips. First is knowing what you want to do. Like it's a good thing that you have business, you have things to do, like to upgrade your skills, but some people don't. So if people don't know what to do, like, oh, I really wanna work again because I have like, then they don't have any other business or the work that they can give them some income. So it's important for people to know what they want to do and then jump on it, as in like work on it, like looking out for opportunities first and foremost, and then apply as much as possible, more than 10 jobs a day. I challenge you, because so many people will do over 10, 20, 30 job application a day. And in Indonesia, interestingly, cover letter is not as important as a big thing as in overseas. So some companies, most companies in Indonesia only require us to submit CV, right? While in overseas, if you apply for jobs in overseas, they will require you to actually write a cover letter to address why you are good for the position, why you are like the best candidates for the position. So that's just a different way of application, but apply as knowing what you do is first. Second is actually making it apply. It's like, finishing your thesis. It's not about the thinking, but actually doing it. Just don't stress too much about it. Just do it and finish it. Make target of how many applications you want to apply for a day. And then after that, you also need to take care of your like LinkedIn, your personal branding. What I mean is, in this case, LinkedIn. There are rumors that recruiters judge your Facebook, your Instagram, or your Twitter. But honestly, professional recruiters would only look at your LinkedIn or your website or your blog at most. You know why? Because they separate personal life with professional life. They don't have time to stalk people. So yeah, so having LinkedIn is very essential to show people who you really are for your personal branding. So that if you're worried about your social media like Facebook or Instagram, then just make it private, because maybe in Indonesia they will look at that, but in overseas they don't really look at your personal branding. So that other than tips and trick, again, for the first one is know what you do, know what you want. Second, apply for the job consistently. The third is sell yourself with your personal branding, and just keep applying. So that's that. And my other tips is to also expand your field of interest, so it's not just stuck in the one specific department or like focus. The reason is to expand your skills and experience. That's really good, because especially with Corona, we learned that you can't just have one skill. You need to meet more diverse people. You need to work on diverse project to be more than other candidates. So yeah, that's a tips and trick. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you so much for your question, for your answer. It's really helpful for me. And yeah, that's what I'm doing, like upgrading my skill and updating my LinkedIn and all of my social media is really important for me.
Yeah, other than that, I have tips on LinkedIn, by the way. So some people just have LinkedIn but don't really use it. So LinkedIn is just like other social media. You need to maintain that. As in, you follow good people, you follow like the types of company, or also the types of people who you want to work with, or like the kind of like scope of work. And then you comment on their like if they post something. People on LinkedIn are just very professional, and then if they share some articles, then you will, it's better for you to create engagement. That's why people will look at your profile. That's how people will hire you. To be honest, there are so many, I've got hijacked like opportunities from LinkedIn. So people will just send you the message on LinkedIn and then ask you questions. Hey, we have these opportunities. Do you want to work in our company? Do you want to explore? So that's why LinkedIn is very, very good for your branding.
Wow,
Well,
I think I need
that's
to take
amazing.
care of my
Thank you.
LinkedIn.
Yes, you should. Me
Yeah,
too.
it's important.
Yeah,
Honestly, yeah.
honestly, I look at your profile on LinkedIn and I was surprised that I see Britzone poster there.
Yeah, I share it on my LinkedIn.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's pretty nice. I think
Wow.
I will add your LinkedIn account after this.
Yeah, LinkedIn it's good to networking. Yeah.
Yeah.
True, that's really true. Okay, maybe we have question
Yeah.
from YouTube, Putri.
Yeah, sure. So we have question from our subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
Kanita, could you please explain us about supply and demand talent at the moment during pandemic?
Sure. Supply and demand. This is a really good questions. So obviously, the COVID has changed a lot, including the work. What's it called? The essential job needed. Like so many people needs. Obviously, health service needs more people to help. So they're very busy at the moment. Other than that, online, so things like online related to like online shopping are in a really good demand at the moment. So like e-commerce, they definitely like getting more and more demand as people go more online. So definitely your digital ability, whether it is technology, IT, coding, something like that, or like design, graphic design, that is always will be in high demand. COVID definitely has teach us that those kind of skill the hard skill and soft skill and interpersonal skill also important for us to sell ourselves in the in a really tough situations like COVID. I'm fortunate enough to still being able to work from home, and actually my company even like advise us to stay at home as until it's really safe to meet people in person. So yeah, it's a matter of like your hard work ethic, your ethic as well. So that's obviously in demand, like your personal interpersonal skill that's always in demand. So while what shift is more like the what is less in demand is more like restaurants or cafes. So those people who have less skills, or like who used to like who used to only what's it called, like work in the restaurants or cafe, they need to go beyond their comfort zone to actually catch the market, to actually look at more opportunities. So the way to get that is to understand what they prefer. For example, you get fired from a restaurant. You used to be a waiter in a restaurant. Then you can apply for an e-commerce, replying email, as simple as that. They need that. So yeah, the supply and demand for COVID shift to more digital channels, obviously, and also for what's it called, non what's it called, like non mainstream channels, like as in like restaurants and cafes. So yeah, but food service, like delivery, they're still going on, but obviously the demand change, like the way it works change. So
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Kanita. Hope it
Thank
answered the
you.
question,
Yes,
Arditano.
we hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, Kanita, what is the
Uh-huh.
hardest part of being account manager?
Oof, that's a tough questions.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I wouldn't say it's easy. I wouldn't say it's hard. I think it it is challenging because you have to manage a lot of accounts, business, not only Indonesian business but also global clients, and you also need to grow their business in Indonesia, in Southeast Asia, and also in the Asia Pacific, in the bigger region globally. So basically need to make them stay knowledgeable, as in like they are aware about what my company is giving. They are using the most of their what's it called, like subscription at the company that I'm working with, and they get the value as in like if you buy nasi padang for 30,000 rupiah, you get everything on it, like the rendang and rice and everything. So while at my job, it's to ensure that they get the best value, because obviously we have competitors. So making sure that my clients are knowledgeable, and still being leading the way for innovations and the competitions, that's really really important.
Okay. It's so hard to be an account manager.
It depends on what kind of company that you work with, or like what kind of business that you work with. I'm working for the market intelligence company, so it's market research related things.
Yeah.
We have a lot of competitors, but we're leading the way because we have experts, like experts who knows who can predict what's gonna happen in the next 10 years, 20 years. So that's why leading the value. So yeah, you don't have to be the same. My favorite thing about working for the company that I work now is that they teach me that you don't have to be the same to compete with other. You should not. Your competition is not other people, but your competition is yourself. Like how you can be different. You should not be the same with your competitor, with other people. So yeah, be unique and show your value, and yeah, just make the most of your live your life to the fullest. That's a really good way to think about it and to think about stuff, everything basically.
Okay, thank you, Kanita.
You're welcome.
I got a message from Hilaria. I think you want to ask her a question.
Yeah, sure.
You can ask Kanita now. Yeah.
Hi, Putri.
Sure.
I have a question.
Okay.
I can't hear Hilaria. You can also type on the chat, or maybe you can also like unplug your microphone,
Unplug your
and then
earphone.
unplug and then replug
Tidak ada
again.
something.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank God. Okay, I have a question. So,
Sure.
what should I do to make the interviewer see me as the good candidate? I mean, like, hey, look at me. I will be your good. I will be good. I will be your good employee if you want to hire me. Yeah. How to make sure the interviewer? I mean,
Honestly, you have to stay true to yourself. You just be you, but obviously be the best version of yourself. Don't fake it. I don't believe in fake it till you make it. I believe in be genuine and be real, as in, but actually like kind of mind your words, mind your thoughts, mind your attitude. I think that's very important. Because the recruiters want to know how you control yourself, how you it's more than just what you have, as in like educations or like your experience and skill. This is also very important to know your interpersonal skills. So they want to know how you handle the situation through your emotions. So the way you talk to them first and foremost really matters. First impression does matter. First impression of how you introduce yourself. You don't need to like always say yes to all the questions. You just have to be real, who you are, like what is your background, and really actually address why you think you are eligible for the position. That's all that matters. They want to make sure that, oh, okay, I can trust this person, like are you trustworthy enough? So the interview session is more about making sure that you're actually the right person, as in like you're actually trustworthy enough to get that position. Yeah, so just my tips is be real, be you, don't fake it, because that's not gonna work. Yeah, and prepare yourself to actually learn about the job. Like, for example, you apply to be an analyst in a company A. Then you have to know what does analyst do and what kind of company stuff. For example, you apply for a FMCG company, but you didn't even know what FMCG is. You didn't even know what world it is. So prepare yourself. Really important to start to begin with, and then at the day of interview, just be real. Yeah.
oh, wait, Miss, I still have another question. So you have already said that about the importance of personal branding is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I haven't upload or make story in my Instagram for around a year, and does it really matter to? I mean, like, to have a very good CV based on. I mean, make a CV in our Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn.
Okay, that's good questions. You don't what's it called, you don't sell your CV on your Instagram. Each social media has its own function. Like Facebook, more about personal, like it's supposed to be for your friends, your inner circle. Twitter is for your celoteh, for your, quotes. Twitter is for like if you're, I don't use Twitter
Other
anymore, but
personality.
so if you see people in Twitter like attacking each other, like it's more
Yeah.
used by politician or for analysts, but yeah, for LinkedIn, focus on LinkedIn. And if you really are not comfortable with showing your personal life, just make your Instagram, like your social media private. But honestly, professional HR should not judge you by your personal social media. They should look at only your LinkedIn. So that's just a myth. If like just a rumor. If you have to make a branding on your Instagram. Well, if you want to be graphic designer, then you can show off in your Instagram. Like you can show off your design. Like if you want to be a photographer or something, you can definitely show off. But for other thing, it's not really matters. HR will look at your LinkedIn. Yeah. So you don't have to upload. You don't always have to show your Insta stories. You don't always have to upload on Instagram. Because some of my friends told me like, oh, I'm afraid what people gonna think about me on my social media. Don't let people like control you. Like be you. People will hate or like you no matter what. So just be real. But still, mind what we post, or like mind what we post, and basically who we follow, or like who we are talking about, because that's sometimes is out of our control and some of them are in our control. So yeah.
And can I ask another question?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
it's not about taking opportunities or looking for job. I mean, my next topic is about scholarships. Since you are the awardee of LPTP, is it fine?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So, is it very important? I mean, what kind of questions that maybe the interviewer will ask you? So, how to make them realize that, hey, look at me, I will be a very good awardee. Can you please accept me? Yeah, like that. How to yeah.
It's
Sorry.
basically for everything, either scholarship or job. The gist of questions from the interviewers would be, are you the right candidate, as in like, would you actually be the right person for this job or for this scholarship? Like they will ask, okay, what's your plan, what's your study plan, why you want to study in that university, what do you want to study about, and how are you going to get that, as in like, what's your previous study about, and even if you change your major, why? It doesn't matter if you study different major. It doesn't matter if you go to like popular university or not, or like what is your GPA. Well, it's probably a little bit matter, but it's more about your actual plan. Like if you have study plan, okay, the first semester I wanted, so it has to be detailed and clear what you will do there, and then what will you do after your graduation. If you want to work to a specific company, or like being public servant, or if you want to do something else. So yeah, basically to prove what you want to prove that you're the right candidate, basically, for that, by addressing the aim of that scholarship. For example, for LPDP, they're looking for Indonesianist who wants to basically give back to the country, and basically wants to to work on Indonesia. So I was studying international relations, and why is that university, specifically that university, York University, why specifically England? So many people want to study in England, so many people want to study in the US. So why? like answering every single detail of your choice. Really important.
Hi. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Hilaria. Hope it answers your questions. Next, we have questioner. It's Danny. So Danny, you can ask the
Okay.
question.
Thank you, Putri. Kanita, I really interested with this topic. So, yeah, as we know, in the pandemic situation, it's many companies stop hire, right? So, many people in our environment, it's so really hard to get a job in this pandemic situation. So, my questions about LinkedIn. Um, I use LinkedIn from 2012, I guess. So, what do you think about when we um, send message or CV? It's a direct message with HR. So, is that polite or no? So you can explain it. And then how to negotiation
Negotiate.
salary, negotiate salary with the HR. So maybe you can
Okay.
explain it.
Sure, that's a really good question, especially for the salary, by the way. It's important. Don't underestimate the salary negotiation. It's I would say it's one of the most important thing when you want to land the job. For LinkedIn questions, it depends on whether you get the informations from LinkedIn or from other source. For example, you want to work for Pertamina or other BUMN for other companies, then you hear the informations from LinkedIn because they do promote job in LinkedIn. Then they usually have apply from LinkedIn. So that's how you should follow. Just follow their application system basically. But it's gonna be different as well with some like organizations like ASEAN. So I used to apply for ASEAN as well. So how they very specifically they want you to apply. They share the informations on LinkedIn, on website, on Facebook, but they will refer you to submit all the applications through email. So basically, it's different. If you receive the job application, the job informations from LinkedIn, then you can definitely submit it from LinkedIn. And then after that, if you wanna send message privately to an HR, it depends on the position as well. So I would suggest to keep it professional, as in like addressing it as dear recruitment manager from like specific company. Keep it very professional and keep it like simple, not too wordy, not too lengthy, not too heavy conversation, just to notify her that you apply for that position and you look forward to hear back from them. So it's a good initiative, but make sure to always follow, because like, you know, applying jobs for big organizations like ASEAN, like the UN, they receive thousands or hundred thousands of applicants. So they wouldn't really care if we send them separate email telling them that, hey, we submit the application. So yeah. And for salary negotiation, as I said, that it is a very important this issue that you have to address. Make sure that they pay you the right money. Don't let them pay you under the minimum wage. Please make sure you know what's the minimum wage, and please address your necessity, as in like you need to live, right? You don't want to get exploited. You have to know what you will do, like the job desk, and try to make price of it. Oh, for example, you want to work for an NGO and your job desk is working from 9 to 5, and the job desk requires you to like travel a lot to be mobile, but you also have to make sure whether will they pay you for the transport or not, something like that. So for salary negotiation, you cannot underestimate that. You have to really carefully calculate and address it to the HR. If they don't want to pay you with your price, leave it. Like you don't negotiate for price, as in like it's unfair to let the company decide your price, because it's not how it works. Yeah. Does that answer, Dani? I hope that answers.
Yeah, thank you so much for answering, Kak Anita. Thank you, Putri.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kanita. Now the participants has returned to the main room. Okay, I think
Welcome back.
welcome back. I think we will discuss
you.
again. We will discuss again about the questions that have been given. Maybe we can start from the room one. The facilitator is wait, KM. KM, where are you?
I'm here.
Okay, KM. Okay, how was the discussion?
The discussion went very well. All the participants in my group, they are talkative, and then they have like a very strong opinion. And we happen to have a fresh graduator, so it's very relatable for her for the question. So Aisha is her name, and she's going to elaborate more what we had.
Okay, maybe do you have any representative from your group? Oh,
yeah, her name is Aisha.
Oh, Aisha. Okay. Yes. Would you please call her? Aisha, where are you?
Yes,
Aisha.
I'm here. Hello, guys.
You can give your opinion about the question. Your answer.
Thank you for the opportunity. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Aisha. I'm a fresh graduate from University of Lampung. So based on the question, what can I offer as a fresh graduate to be get hired through this pandemic is to show up my skill, either is a soft, hard, or interpersonal skill, and then I also have to show about my excellent academic record, and then volunteering experience and also internship experience. So the recruiter can give me opportunity to hire me. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, Aisha. All right.
Yeah.
Go back to KM.
Yeah.
Are you happy? Okay, KM.
I'm happy because Aisha, before she said that she's shy, but look at her. She was so confident, right?
Wow, that is the magic of Britzone, right? Give a special applause.
Applause for Aisha.
Applause. Thank you, Aisha. Well, I would like to hear it from you, your personal opinion about this question. What do you think?
Okay, from my personal opinion, actually, I have to look back like quite long time because it's been a while since I was graduated, right? It's like a long time ago, very long time ago. But what I want to add from Aisha's answer, actually, as a fresh graduator, you will still have a very high energy, right? That's also your selling point. That's also your selling point. You still have like high energy, and then also your idealistic is also high, and then what else? Yep. And then you would just like what Dicky said in my group. He mentioned that as a fresh graduator, you still want to your ego is still high, so you still want to prove yourself to yourself and also the others. So
you're a new groom actually.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, KM.
Anytime.
Okay, as our conductor has said, this is not a yes/no question. So we would like to hear more from our conductor, Kanita. For the question number 1, maybe you have some advices about what can we offer as a fresh graduate to get hired?
Obviously, yeah, I agree. I agree with KM and also Aisha from the discussions. Obviously, all the skills in the personal, soft, and hard skill really important, and also, but it's also more than just that. You also have to stay true to yourself. You just have to be genuine, be real for what you are passionate about. Because as a fresh graduate, you tend to be like, I can do anything because I don't really know what I want to do. But please make sure that you really do what you love, as in like do something that you are passionate about, and be real. Just don't be if you don't like what you do, then just do something. Don't just do it.
Just leave it, right?
Don't waste your time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're still young, but don't waste your time.
Agree with that.
Agree with that.
Agree.
That's why I stay in Britzone.
Totally agree.
Okay, let's move to the question number 2. I'm going to ask room 2. The facilitator is Kawiduri.
Thank you, Putri. And
Okay.
I already mentioned it. The name of the presenting it's Emilia Prebrianti, and the chat room I already asked her to.
Okay.
Represent.
All right. Thank you.
Do the recap. Yeah.
To do the recap. Okay. Please, Emilia, I would like to remind the questions. How and why education background is important to get hired? Emilia, the time is yours. Is she here?
Emilia, you're still muted.
You mute. Yeah, she's muted.
Yeah.
Please unmute yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is my first time to speak in here. What I want to summarize the question about how important the education for us to get hired. Okay, that's quite important for some type of job, I think. I mean, if you want to work as a doctor, it's a must. If it's a must, you go to the medical college. Or if you want to be a lawyer, it's a must. You have to have a law degree, right? It's not like if you want to be a doctor, but then you study broadcasting, for example. But yeah, that's inside of the science that we learned at college. But we have to see the different side also, I think, because in the university we got another like soft skill. I mean, how to control your emotional, how to control your skill, changing how your think, changing how your appearance or socialize with someone. I think that's a soft skill that we learn in any education degree that will help us to survive in the world. I think
that's all, Emilia.
I think that's all.
Okay, thank you so much, Emilia. Actually, your answer is just like what our conductor has answered. Maybe I want to ask our conductor, Anita. Maybe you can elaborate more.
Yeah, actually, I have some. I agree with Emilia, but I also have some. I learned a lot since I was a fresh graduate, and then I work, and then I did my master, continue my master, and then I work again. I think you don't learn from only education institutions. You don't learn from only at schools or universities, but you learn from anyone, anywhere, anytime. So unlimit yourself from education institutions, and also from any from what's it called, like unlimit yourself from also what's it called, like stereotype, also from the what's it called, like the job description. So you should focus on like what your passion is about, and also with like your on hands experience. So education background, yes, it can be important to land you a good job, but it is not the most important or like the most essential thing to get you a good job, unless it is a very specific job like being a doctor or being a lawyer. But yeah, the key is to focus on unlimit yourself to work on something that you're really passionate about. So then you're not feeling stressed, you're not going to feel tired. So yeah, when you actually enjoy something that you work, then you won't feel tired at what you're doing.
Okay, thank you, Kanita. Let's move to the third question. The facilitator is Kasanto.
Yes,
Kasanto.
teacher.
Okay. So the question is how to best address experience related questions during interview. So would you like to choose someone?
Sure. We have actually picked one person, but interestingly, since the question is about experience-related questions, most of the participants of our group are workers, and one of them is a student, and we pick the students.
Okay.
So yeah, Bernard, would you like to step up?
Isn't that cruel? Isn't that cruel?
Hello. Can you guys
one.
hear me?
Yeah,
I
the
hope
floor
it's
is
not a
yours.
forced one, yeah.
So, well, like he said before, I'm still a student in college. I'm on my third year. And I'm from a group that is talking about experience in getting a job. So what I get from the guys from the discussion is, first of all, most of us agree that it is hard to find a job, especially during the pandemics, right? And to address that, first thing we need to do is we have to know our strengths and weaknesses, no matter the job we are aiming for or what do we want. And beside that, we need also to make our strengths and weaknesses related to the job. And during the interview, we have to be organized. And last but not least, we have to be honest in answering everything, especially during the interview. So that's my summary.
Thank you, Bernard.
Thank you, Bernard. Okay, so Bernard points were we have to know our strengths and weaknesses, and we have to be honest with ourselves. Kanita, what do you think?
Agree, completely agree. Being honest is very important. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where in the future your boss gonna ask you the same questions and then you answer it with the different answers. Yeah, and other than that, on hands experience, obviously very important. You should address about your related experience, obviously like internship or organizational experience. Note that those experience better related to the job that you're applying for, because recruiters doesn't like nonsense, non-relevant experience to address this the interview questions. And other than that is to the important thing during the interview is also to ask them back, ensure that you also like know, like you show your your knowledge about the company or like the organizations that you apply to, and also ask like like questions like details about the job, not only addressing the job position, but also more details like who will I work with, like what team will I be working with, and yeah, basically questions back is also important.
Okay. Thank you, Kanita.
So,
Let's move to the fourth question. The facilitator is Karaki. Karaki or Dika? Karaki.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay. I know you love personal branding so much.
yes, because that's my area, right?
Yes,
And
that's your field of
yes,
interest.
for
Okay.
the group 4,
So what do you think? What do you think? How
what
important is personal branding
for
for
me,
you?
personal branding is important because personal branding is about how we tell us how we tell how we tell ourselves to the world, and then because of that the opportunity come to us because they know us, they know who we
Okay.
are.
They know who you are.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you,
Okay.
Karaki.
Yeah.
Now you can
How
pick
about
one of your members.
the spokesperson from the spokesperson from group 4 is Salpiana. Hello, Salpiana. The
Yeah,
stage is
hello. Yeah.
yours. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, our group think that personal branding is so important because it is one of the way you share about yourself, how to make other people feel interested to you, how to create a good impression. This is like one of the method how you sell yourself to get a job. So it's so important when you get interviews uh, about one of the job and you prepare well about your appearance, like you wearing a tidy outfit, maybe you spray perfume to your body, etc. And build the personal branding in social media is so important as well because other people can see your behavior, your daily activity, what kind of topic that you always share in social media, and they can see what kind of person you are. For instance, you probably you are the person who like to share hoax, you are the person who always share negative news and something like that. So yeah, be careful to use social media now. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Salviana. Okay, maybe speaking of social media, Kak Anita has said that social media has its own functions, like they have different functions with Instagram, LinkedIn. Maybe our participants wants to know more about it. Anita.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, I agree so much with Sofia that personal branding is important. I used to take it for granted, but it's actually very important, especially if you want to land a really good job. They do look at your appearance. What I mean is, no, you don't have to wear like high-end brand like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Chanel, whatever. You just have to look neat and like actually, well, if you are a designer, show yourself, like be the coolest designer that you can show. If you want to be like a manager, then yeah, show that you're a professional person, dress professionally. Smell, yes, it is important, like at least you don't smell like you haven't had shower. Just that you don't have to wear like you don't have to use Joe Malone perfume, like expensive perfume. So as long as you smell good, that's all that matters. For social media branding, it is important as well, but to be honest, in my experience, it's unfair for an HR to look at personal social media. So they will actually look at your profile on LinkedIn, your website, your blog. That is the appropriate platform for them to look at your personal thing, because social media is very personal. So that's why most foreigners actually privatize, like make it private, just so then people, because they don't like their lives to be exposed to you know, stranger. So if you're really a type of person who is like really aware about your personal life, I suggest you to private your personal social media, but also focus on branding yourself on personal platform like LinkedIn, because honestly I've got like several opportunities, hijack opportunities, you know, like some companies like send you a message, hey, we really like your profile, would you be interested in like, and we are looking for this specific position, would you be interested for this role, and if so, then we can set up a call. So that's that's the beauty of branding in your platform. So you can use LinkedIn or blog or website, or if social media, I think it's probably Twitter. But yeah, Twitter used by, it's just being super used by politicians and celebrity to attack one another. So not the best platform for you to build a branding on there. So yeah, be wise on social media.
Okay, so I can conclude that if you want to be a politician, use Twitter oftenly. Sorry. Okay, next we have a really good question. It's the question we've been waiting for. How to land our dream job in the midst of pandemic. Our facilitator is Kadika. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, Kadika.
Okay, Hardina, could you answer this?
Hardina.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much for the chance. Based on our discussion earlier, actually everyone has their own ways to, especially how the way they land their dream job during the pandemic. So far, since five of us have different dream jobs, so they have their own ways to stabilize or like, what is it? They have their own ways to make better version of them. Like maybe for some of them will join webinar or another online platform to what is it? Getting better.
Yeah, getting better.
Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Hardina. That's a really good answer. Would like to hear more from our conductor, Kanita. How to land our
Sure.
dream job in the midst of pandemic.
Sure, I agree. It is actually, as I mentioned at the beginning, that the pandemic is a challenge, but can be an opportunity for us to upgrade our skills and also our branding. So don't feel scared or don't feel alone. It's not easy. Job hunting is not an easy thing to do. You're not alone. With or without pandemic, it's not an easy thing to do for job hunting, especially if you really want a specific job. So it is a good time for you to upgrade your skills. So many free online webinars and workshops that you can apply. And then after that, you will have to make sure that you actually apply for the job. You put target on how many applications that you have to apply for a day. It actually matters. The quantity, people say that, oh, quality matters. Yes, quality matters, but quantity also matters. Like you see, like your friend get a good job in like a month or less than a month because they probably apply like 10, 20 jobs a day, which you think you simplify it as in like, don't really need that, but they actually work hard on it. So we don't know how other people work hard to get what they get. People can only see the outside of it. Oh, they're so successful. Oh, their life is so good. They have so much money. Oh my God, like, look at the billionaire like Steve Jobs, like they so lucky to be at their positions. No, they're not lucky. They earn it. So yeah, make sure you put effort working hard on actually applying it, because being blunt and honest, without pandemic, the competition is real. So with pandemic, the competition is harder, and the opportunity is also more challenging. And other than that, if it's not easy still to get you a good job that you really want, then you can always explore yourself out of your comfort zone. You can try to create more opportunities for others. You can like run your own business, be an entrepreneur. Maybe that's something that is belong to you. We never know. So don't be scared to actually open to more opportunities that you never think that you will do. I think that's it.
Thank you so much, Kanita, for the insight you have given to us. And, you know, it's such a life-changing experience for me because I'm a fresh graduate. I'm not looking for a job, but yeah, maybe I will change my job later. Thank you. Because we have limited time, we already had a questions and answers session. And yeah, right now, Hanita, would you please give us maybe short encouragement words for us, for, for people who are job seekers and looking for jobs right now, or their job are on hold? Short. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Put first and foremost, that you always have to believe in yourself first. Don't compare yourself. Your only competition is yourself. So at this time, it's already tough time for our mental health. So if you think like you're not alone in these situations, whether you want to change the job or whether you lose your job, you're not alone. So if you in a situation that you're looking for a job, there are so many people out there who also want to look for a job. So just keep going. As I mentioned, like try every possibility. Actually, put effort on that. How make like work on that. If you lose the job, keep going as well, because obviously you're not alone. Again, you're not alone, and take it as an opportunity for you to actually go out of your comfort zone. So keep going, focus on yourself, keep working, take care of yourself mentally and physically. That's more important thing. And treat yourself when you eventually get the interview. Treat yourself as a professional. Don't take everything from the interviewer or like from the recruiter, everything that they say or they require. You have your own position to offer yourself. So it's like, it's not like they want everything of you, but it has to be equal. You have to make sure that the job is suit best for you, and the right job that you can enjoy, because it's not like you work for the company, like for you work for company or organizations that it's not same with your value, if that makes sense. It's like it's gonna be tiring and depressing in the long run. So be wise in choosing the job, be wise in deciding to take the job as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Kanita. Okay, we come to the last session. It's the photo session. Okay, everyone, please show your face.
Okay, guys, everyone, please
Okay, if you
enable
want
your
to
video.
unmute yourself, just unmute yourself.
Okay, strike a pose. 1, 2, 3. Again. Wait. Wait. Strike a pose. 1, 2, 3. Again. I don't know which slide you
Just
are
keep
in, but
smiling.
still strike a pose. Just keep smiling. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much for
Okay.
joining our class.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining our class. Thank you, Kanita, for conducting our class today.
Thank you, Britzone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Kanita.
Thank you.
If you want to stay in touch with Kanita, please reach out her LinkedIn. All right.
Yes, true. And
Yeah.
please do not leave the WhatsApp group, because if you want to join another class, if you want to join our class next Tuesday, you will be added to the group again. If you leave, we cannot add you again in the group. So just stay at the group until we kick
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
And if you are, if you want to be our conductor, please feel free to contact us. One of us, you can contact me, Putri or Tra or any other committee.
Yes.
Please, yeah, just be brave.
Yes, just be brave. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, thank
maybe
you so
you will
much to all.
get hired from Britzone.
Yes, true.
Thank you, Kanit.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you so
Kanit,
much.
please don't leave the room, yeah.
Don't you leave.
Oh, okay.
Don't you leave.
Ladies, thank you so
So
much.
scary. Thank you.
Thank you so
Everyone,
much for joining our
you can
class.
leave the room.
Yeah, thank you everyone. See you on the next meeting.
Take care.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Anita.
See
you.
you tomorrow.
Sleep
See you
tight.
tomorrow. Sleep tight. Don't forget to apply for job.
Yeah, that's true though.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it?
true.
That's true.
Even though
Are you
you're still in
teasing me?
college. Apply
Yeah.
50 times a day.
Apply.
Bye.
Or
Apply,
create.
tipas.
No. Or create your own job, right?
Apply, die.
Or create your own job.
Kahani, you can leave
Yes.
Kahani.
Nih, si Ijon, foto sesi udah selesai, dia baru balik dari toilet. Mana sih?
Aduh.
Anita, thank you. That was
You guys
so
stay
good.
together? Try any zone?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Anita, how do you feel?
Well, I feel grateful because given this opportunity, special opportunity to share with Britzoners. I've been to Britzone offline events. It's definitely a really good platform for youth empowerment. So keep going, guys. You're doing a really great thing. Like it's not easy to meet people, like-minded people who actually contribute themselves to the society. So keep up the good work. Grateful to be able to join tonight's session. I'm sorry with the technical matters, with the mentee matter.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a good night for me. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you, Anita.
Anita.
That's very kind of you.
Do you have feedback for us in order to be
Yes.
better next time, Anita, as a conductor?
No, I think it's everything is just very well organized. You have the briefing. That's a really good thing to do to prepare everything. Briefing is very important. For the sessions, it's good. This is the first time I know that you guys did the focus group discussion. Actually, encourage people to actually speak up. So I don't have anything else to add. You guys just doing it really well.
Thank you very much for the feedback.
Thank you. Now we
Yeah.
need to hear from our facilitator.
Yes.
Do you have maybe any complaints for us?
Complain.
Now I have a
Actually,
comment.
no complaint.
I have a comment. Not a complaint, but a comment.
Okay.
Comment.
Okay.
Thank you for the wide range of time. 30 minutes are, great. Everyone is
30 minutes,
speaking. Yeah, that's what
it's just-
we have been expected for. Yeah.
Yeah,
It should be like
because we
that.
need more
It should be like
time. It should be 2 days, I suppose.
Okay, but it's all right. All right. It's all right.
Okay. Yeah, I think 30 minutes is enough. Yeah. Now
Yeah.
we can
Well,
enough.
do that again.
depends on the number
Depends on the topic. Okay.
and the number of the participants.
Mm. Yeah. Okay, thank
But
you.
it feels like only like, even though it's 30 minutes, but we feel like it's only 1 minute, since we do
Yeah.
really enjoy
It
it.
went quickly though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went very very fast actually for the last for the 30 minutes because everyone in the group they talkative, just like what I said. They talk a lot. So they had their own opinions. So yeah, I mean, in a very active group, I think that 30 minutes will be great.
Sure.
I had 6 people in the group. So yeah, 30 minutes for 6 people, six talkative people.
So 5
good.
minutes for each person, yeah.
I have 9
Yeah.
on my group.
Oh, 9.
9
9.
persons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How about the others?
How
about the others?
I have only one participant that not participating, and joining the class, only once.
What happened?
How would you do, by the way,
I don't
guys,
know.
if one participant like don't want to talk?
Yeah.
What would you do?
Basically, we try
We
to
encourage-
encourage first, but we don't want to force them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him that you don't